Welcome back to English, from A to Z English in real life. Have you ever been caught in that moment? You're out somewhere, maybe networking, maybe just bumping into someone you know, and suddenly it hits you. You should know this person, you had a great chat, remember it clearly, but their name, it's just gone.
Oh, absolutely. Vanished into thin air.
Exactly. Poof. Or maybe you've had a really full day, loads happen, but when someone asks, "So how was your day?" you kind of struggle. You can only manage a few words, maybe sound a bit robotic.
Yeah, getting beyond "it was good" can be surprisingly tricky sometimes.
It really can. And it's more than just a small thing, isn't it? It feels like a real hurdle, makes you feel a bit awkward, maybe less confident than you actually are when speaking English.
Definitely. These aren't just tiny glitches. They're common challenges that impact how natural and comfortable we feel using the language in real situations.
So in this deep dive, we're going to tackle these real-life English issues head-on. First up, we'll look at navigating those slightly embarrassing moments, the ones that make you sweat a little.
Like the name forgetting scenario.
Hi, precisely. We've got some practical strategies for that. And then we're going to unlock something, well, I think it's genuinely surprising, the power of just talking about your day.
It sounds almost too simple, right?
It does. But the insights we've gathered from conversational English lessons, focusing on everyday stuff, routines, they really show why it works so well for building fundamental fluency.
Yeah, it's about making the language real and personal, connecting it to your actual life.
Exactly. So get ready for some aha moments, hopefully, that you can use right away to boost your real-life English communication. Let's really get into this.
Sounds great. And it's interesting how these two things, handling awkward social bits and just describing your day,
Yeah.
are actually, well, they're really connected when you think about building that genuine fluency and, importantly, confidence.
Wow.
Well, the material we looked at isn't just giving lists of words. It's offering actionable strategies, insights into how natural English actually works. It's about using the language dynamically, not just knowing it passively.
Right. Moving beyond just vocabulary to actually using it to connect with people, talk about your experiences authentically.
Exactly. It's a very practical approach,
Yeah.
focusing on skills you can apply immediately.
Okay, let's dive right into that first scenario then, because honestly, who hasn't felt this? That awful moment of forgetting someone's name?
Universal dread.
Yes. Our source gives this great example. Nick runs into Anna at a conference. He remembers talking to her about foreign investment. Found it really interesting, genuinely.
Okay, so there's a real connection there.
There is. But then as she walks over, boom, he realizes with that horrible sinking feeling that her name has just slipped his mind.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know that feeling, right? That frantic mental surge, the alarm bells ringing, all while you're trying to look cool and casual on the outside?
Oh, definitely. The internal panic is real. You just want the floor to open up.
Totally. And it makes you wonder, why do names just disappear like that? It's usually not about being disrespectful, is it?
Not usually, no. Often it's just information overload, isn't it? When you first meet someone, your brain's processing their face, their voice, the topic, the whole social scene. Sometimes the name just doesn't stick.
Right. Too much going on.
And the emotional side is huge. Forgetting a name, especially professionally, feels like a major slip-up. It causes real stress, that internal panic.
When you feel like you failed somehow.
Exactly. And that fear, the fear of offending them or looking forgetful, actually floods your brain, making it even harder to recall the name. It's like a vicious cycle.
That makes so much sense. The anxiety makes it worse.
Hmm.
But in this scenario, Anna's response is just brilliant. When Nick finally fesses up, she just says, "Don't worry about it. It happens to me all the time. I'm terrible with names, too."
Ah, that's gold.
It is. It just changes everything, doesn't it? What makes a response like that so effective? It's more than just being polite, surely.
Oh, much more. It's incredibly socially savvy. She's not just letting him off the hook, she's normalizing it.
Oh.
She shares her own vulnerability. I'm terrible with names, too.
Right, so it's like we're in this together.
Precisely. It instantly reduces the tension,
Hmm.
takes the sting out of his embarrassment, and builds this sense of connection, of shared humanity. It
Hmm.
says, hey, it's okay. It doesn't change anything.
It turns an awkward moment into, well, almost a bonding moment.
Exactly. That's social intelligence in action. It
Yeah.
strengthens the connection rather than damaging it.
Speaking of those moments, I have to share one of my own. It wasn't just some random person. It was a massive family reunion. Loads of relatives I hadn't seen for ages.
Oh, dear. High stakes.
Tell me about it. So I'm chatting away to one of my uncles. Nice conversation, but inside my head, it's just screaming, "What is his name? What is his name?" Total blank.
The worst.
It was that classic, uh-oh, this is really embarrassing feeling, but worse because, family. The source mentions Marco forgetting his Uncle John's name.
Huh. So they're the common family hazard, too.
Apparently. And guess what I did? I basically pulled a Marco. Just called him Uncle for the entire afternoon. Just, "Hi, Uncle. How are you doing, Uncle?" So awkward.
You improvised. Sometimes you just have to, right? Find those little workarounds.
You really do. It shows how much we need some linguistic tools, some actual phrases to handle these spots more smoothly.
Absolutely. Which brings us nicely to the language takeaways, those key phrases that can genuinely rescue you in these quick, often stressful social moments. Host, speaker, speaker. Okay, let's break these down. So you're caught, you need to leave. Or maybe say no politely because you're short on time. What's a good go-to phrase? The source highlights in a bit of a hurry. Yes, in a bit of a hurry. It's so useful and polite. It clearly signals you don't have much time, you need to move on, but crucially, it does it without sounding rude or dismissive.
Right. It's like saying, "It's my schedule, not you."
Exactly. It manages the situation gracefully. You're communicating urgency based on circumstance.
And the examples they give really show its flexibility. Like, "Can you drive faster? I'm in a bit of a hurry." Clear need for speed there.
Textbook urgency.
Yeah. Or if someone buttonholes you when you need to be somewhere. "I can't talk right now. I'm in a bit of a hurry." Polite refusal explains why.
Perfect. Doesn't shut them down completely, just postpones it.
And for juggling tasks, "I'm in a bit of a hurry, so I'll check these files later." Sets the expectation, buys you time.
Clearly prioritizes based on time constraints.
So for you listening, think about when you could use this. Maybe a colleague catches you on your way out, or you need to end a phone call politely. It's a great tool for managing your time without causing offense.
It really is. It's about setting boundaries politely.
Hmm.
Okay, moving on. The next key phrase, contact details.
Yes, the practical stuff. Name, phone number, email, all that.
Exactly. Typically what you find on a business card.
Yeah.
But the strategy here is the important part. Why ask for or offer contact details? Especially after a first meeting, like Nick and Anna at the conference.
Well, for networking, obviously. To follow up.
Right. But it's also a brilliant proactive solution to the name forgetting problem we were just talking about.
Oh, good point. If you have their card or their email.
Their name is right there. Often spelled correctly, too. It's a safety net for future interactions. And today, it's not just physical cards, right? It's swapping LinkedIn details, texting an email address.
So it's a modern way to prevent future awkwardness. Very smart.
It is. Now, the third phrase, which perfectly describes Nick's situation, slipped my mind.
I use this one all the time.
It's incredibly common and linguistically quite interesting. Think about it. It slipped, not I forgot. It's passive.
Huh. Never thought about it like that.
It subtly distances you from direct blame. It implies it was an accident, an unintended lapse, not deliberate negligence. It's a way to save face, both yours and potentially theirs.
So it softens the blow compared to just saying, "I forgot."
Definitely. It frames it as something that just happened, almost outside your control. It helps maintain social harmony, especially when admitting a mistake could be awkward or seen as a slight. It's about managing the social interaction carefully.
That makes sense. It feels gentler. The examples show this well. Like, "I'm sorry I forgot to respond to your email. It just slipped my mind." Standard polite apology for dropping the ball.
Exactly. Diffuses potential annoyance right away.
And the more dramatic one, don't you know what day it is today? Oh, it's your birthday. It completely slipped my mind. That's the big embarrassing miss.
Yeah, potentially hurtful even. But again, the phrase slipped my mind frames it as an unfortunate accident, maybe lessening the sting just a tiny bit compared to implying you simply didn't care enough to remember.
It's like a verbal cushion for those delicate moments.
A very useful cushion indeed. Now, for building more fluent expressions, let's look at how we use the word around. Seems simple, but it can show different levels of closeness.
Ah, like around here, right around the corner, and around there.
Exactly. Understanding these nuances makes your English sound much more natural, especially when talking about location.
So around here is like generally close to where we are now. Is there a good coffee shop around here?
Precisely. The local area, the vicinity, but right around the corner is much closer, more specific.
Like my office is right around the corner, maybe on the next street or a very short walk away.
Yes, implies very easy access, almost within sight, and then around there.
That's for talking about a place we're not currently in, right? Like I visited San Francisco last year. I have family who live around there, meaning in the general Bay Area, not necessarily SF City itself.
Perfect. You're referring to a broader region associated with the place you mentioned. Using these correctly really adds a layer of fluency when giving directions or just chatting about places.
And no, one phrase I absolutely love because it's so human and relatable. Terrible with names, terrible with directions.
Ah, yes, the self-deprecating connector. It's
Yeah.
excellent. Anna used it perfectly. I'm terrible with names, too.
Yeah, immediately makes Nick feel better, right? Because she's sharing a similar flaw.
Exactly. It's a social lubricant. It shows vulnerability and makes you instantly more relatable.
The source gives loads of examples. You're terrible with numbers. You can't even remember your own phone number. Ouch.
Huh. Or, I'm terrible with directions. I'm always getting lost. That's me sometimes.
Or, I'm terrible with faces. I can never remember what people look like. The source mentions Erica being like that. For me, honestly, I'm terrible with remembering song lyrics. Second verse. Forget it.
See, we all have our terrible with thing, and admitting it, maybe with a bit of humor, actually strengthens social bonds. It makes you approachable.
Because it shows you're human, not perfect.
Exactly. It invites others to share their quirks, too. For example, I'm just awful with dates, history, birthdays. They just don't stick in my brain. So when someone admits they're terrible with names, I immediately feel a connection. It's a charming way to own a small imperfection.
It really is. Okay, fluency builder time. Greetings. Anna greets Nick with, "How's it going?" Why is that highlighted as being so natural?
Well, compared to how are you? Or how are you doing? Oh, which are fine, of course. How's it going? Just feels a bit more dynamic.
Casual, dynamic, how so?
The going implies things are in motion. It's about the flow of their life right now, rather than just a static state of being. How are things progressing is kind of the underlying feel.
Ah, okay. Like checking in on the current status of their day or life.
Exactly.
Right.
It fits the rhythm of casual, ongoing interaction really well. It just sounds a bit more fluent, less like you're reading from a textbook phrase.
So, a little tip for everyone listening. Next time you bump into a friend or start a casual call, try, "Hey, how's it going?" See how it feels.
Good challenge. And speaking of feeling natural, let's loop back to that name forgetting problem. We've got some great practical tricks from Marco and Erica in the source material. Real lifesavers.
Okay, spill the beans. What are these clever tricks?
Right, so one classic move, especially if it's more formal or a networking thing, ask for their business card.
Ah, because the name's right there.
Usually, yes, full name spelled out. It looks like standard professional courtesy, so no one suspects you've blanked.
Sneaky. I like it. What else?
Another smart one, very relevant now. Ask them to write down their email address.
Okay. How does that help?
Well, often their name is in the email address itself, or it's a natural reason to then ask, sorry, how do you spell your full name again for my contacts?
Gotcha. Again, indirect. Save space.
Exactly. These reduce the social anxiety, help maintain the relationship smoothly. It's about being resourceful without making it awkward.
And then there's Marco's family reunion trick, the high uncle strategy.
Ah, yes. The slightly desperate but sometimes necessary catch-all for relatives you vaguely recognize but can't name.
Hey, if it works, it works. It's funny, but also points to the real pressure we feel in those moments.
It does. So these tips give you concrete ways to handle those tricky spots. You've got the phrases, you've got the tricks. But what about just general conversation? Building that everyday fluency muscle.
Yeah, moving beyond problem solving to just comfortable chatting.
And that perfectly leads us to the second major part of our deep dive, the surprising power of describing your day.
Right. This is the bit I found really fascinating. So if you've been thinking, okay, got it, handle awkward moments better, but how do I just get better at talking in English day to day? This next part is key. The source material argues that describing your day seemingly simple stuff is actually a huge tool for fluency. Why is that? Why is this simple act so powerful?
It's powerful because, as the source puts it so well, your day is real. It's your experience. You lived it. You know it inside out.
Okay, so you don't have to invent anything or talk about complicated, abstract stuff.
Exactly. You're not searching for complex ideas about, I don't know, quantum physics or historical debates. You just need to talk about your life, your own concrete reality.
Which makes the language needed more immediate, more accessible.
Precisely. It focuses you on real English, useful English,
Hmm.
English that you can use with other people in real life. The aim isn't perfection, it's just the attempt to articulate what happened.
That feels much less intimidating than trying to debate philosophy in a new language.
Hmm.
So, how does doing this actually improve fluency? What's happening in our brains?
Great question. It works on several levels. Firstly, you genuinely begin to think in English. You're forming thoughts about familiar events directly in English, not translating. That strengthens those neural pathways.
Okay, bypassing the translation step.
Yes. Secondly, you begin to speak more naturally. Why? Because you're recounting things that happen sequentially, logically. You're reporting, not creating complex fiction.
Makes sense. It flows more easily.
It does. And this naturally leads you to use simple, complete sentences, building foundational grammar, without the stress of trying to use really complex structures before you're ready. And crucially, as you said, you stop translating in your head, which is a massive barrier for many learners.
Right, that constant mental translation slows everything down.
It really does. And finally, as you successfully string these thoughts together about your own life, guess what happens? You feel more confident when speaking.
And confidence is huge in language learning.
Absolutely critical. It fuels further practice and willingness to engage.
So, practically speaking, imagine meeting someone new. They ask, "What did you do today?" Instead of just, work, because you've practiced this.
You can actually respond. You could say something like, well, I woke up around 7, went to work, had a couple of meetings, answered emails. Then in the evening, I made pasta and watched a movie.
That's a proper answer. That's real communication, as the source says. It tells them something meaningful.
Exactly. It's coherent, informative. And the beauty is you can practice this anytime, anywhere. Even if you are alone or not in an English class, or if you feel shy, it's incredibly accessible.
So how do you start? Just ask yourself questions.
That's a great way in. Simple prompts. What did I do today? What time did I wake up? What did I eat for breakfast? Where did I go this afternoon? What did I do tonight?
Focusing on the basic building blocks of the day.
Yes. These questions activate the vocabulary you need, help you form sentences, and get you thinking chronologically in English, all without the pressure of a live conversation. You could even record yourself on your phone.
Ooh, good idea. Listen back later.
Yeah, see where you hesitated or what words you were missing. But the main thing is just doing it. Keep it simple. Use the English you already have. Don't obsess over mistakes. Just speak.
One sentence today, maybe two tomorrow.
Exactly. It builds up. Before you know it, you're telling a short story about your day. It's about consistency, those small daily wins.
Okay, let's try and build that skill right now, step by step, using the source material, making our own lives the lesson. We'll start where the day starts, the morning.
Good place to begin. The source highlights that the morning is a very important part of your day, setting the tone, giving energy, and yeah, a great time to practice English for a few minutes.
Right, maybe while you're making coffee or something. So let's break down a typical morning routine using the phrases from the source. First up, waking up.
Okay, simple start. I usually wake up at 7, then maybe add detail. Sometimes I wake up earlier around 6:30 when I have a lot to do.
For a consequence, if I sleep late, I feel tired the next morning. Basic conditional, useful.
Very. Then the bit after waking up but before getting up. I stay in bed for a few minutes and think about my day.
Adding physical actions. I like to take a deep breath and stretch my arms and legs.
Good visual verbs there. And finally, then I sit up slowly and get out of bed. See? Simple verbs, present tense mostly. Time markers. It's a solid base.
Okay, then moving on to personal hygiene, familiar actions again. I walk to the bathroom and brush my teeth.
The source adds a nice detail. For 2 minutes, slowly and carefully. Makes it more vivid.
Yeah. Then I wash my face with cold water. It helps me feel awake, explains the why.
Good point. Maybe a shower. Sometimes I take a quick shower, especially if I feel sleepy.
And here's a great tip for integration. When I shower, I like to play soft music or listen to English audio.
Turning shower time into study time.
Yeah.
Smart.
Then after my shower, I dry off and put on my clothes. Maybe add what kind? Something clean and comfortable or more formal for meetings or classes.
Again, adding that little bit of specific detail makes it more real, more personal. You're narrating your choices.
Okay, next up. The kitchen. Breakfast time.
Right. Next, I go to the kitchen and prepare my breakfast. Then describing the food is perfect practice. I usually eat something simple, like toast, eggs, and fruit.
Or alternatives. Sometimes I have cereal with milk and a banana.
Maybe more elaborate. If I have more time, I make an omelet or oatmeal. Lots of food vocabulary practice here.
And the source suggests adding how you eat. I like to eat slowly so I can enjoy my food. Mindfulness in English.
Huh? And drinks. I drink coffee most mornings, or sometimes I drink green tea because it feels light and fresh, expressing preference.
What about while eating? I sometimes watch a short video or check the news.
Or maybe not.
Yeah.
Other days, I just enjoy the quiet and listen to birds outside. Again, painting a picture of your specific routine.
Okay, almost done with the morning, the final checks before leaving. Before I leave the house, I check my phone.
What do you check? The time and read my messages, maybe my calendar to see if I have any meetings or appointments. Specifics make it better.
Then packing up. I pack my bag with everything I need. My phone, notebook, keys, and water bottle. Listing items.
Good practice. And the final act, then I put on my shoes and go out the door.
It's amazing how many simple sentences you can string together just describing that first part of the day.
All right.
Okay, let me try putting that together into a short narrative like the one in the source to show the flow.
Great idea.
Okay, something like this. In the morning, I usually wake up at around 7. Sometimes I wake up earlier if I have a lot of things to do. I lie in bed for a few minutes and think about the day ahead. I stretch my arms, yawn a little, and slowly get up. Then I walk to the bathroom and brush my teeth for 2 full minutes, slowly and carefully. After that, I wash my face with cold water. It really helps me wake up. If I feel sleepy, I take a warm shower. I often listen to relaxing music or an English podcast while I shower. It helps me feel more calm and focused. After the shower, I put on clean clothes and check my hair in the mirror. Next, I go into the kitchen and start making breakfast. I usually eat 2 pieces of toast with butter and jam, and sometimes I add a boiled egg. I drink a large cup of coffee that's very important to me in the morning, and sometimes a glass of orange juice. While eating, I sit by the window and look outside. Sometimes I hear birds singing and I enjoy the peaceful moment. Before I leave the house, I check my phone. I look at the time, my to-do list, and my schedule for the day. Then I prepare my bag, make sure I have everything. My phone, my wallet, my notebook, and sometimes a healthy snack like an apple. Finally, I put on my jacket and shoes, open the door, and step outside to begin my day.
That's brilliant. It flows really well, uses all those simple, everyday phrases, and paints a clear picture.
Yeah.
You're not trying to sound like Shakespeare. You're just narrating your reality.
Exactly. And doing that regularly, even just in your head or quietly to yourself, must build up fluency.
Without a doubt.
Okay.
Shall we move on to the afternoon? The source calls it the middle part of the day. Often busy, but stresses that you can still listen. You can still repeat. You can still practice, even for just 5 or 10 minutes.
Finding those little pockets of time. Okay, so after lunch, what happens then? After lunch, I go back to work. Common starting point.
And a common feeling. Sometimes I feel a little sleepy after I eat. Relatable.
Definitely. Then getting back into tasks. I check my emails and answer the important ones first.
Or maybe dealing with messages. I often read messages from coworkers or classmates.
Meetings are common too. I usually have 1 or 2 meetings in the afternoon, maybe meeting with a client or my manager to talk about tasks.
And if you work from home, I sit at my desk and open my laptop. Perhaps I type reports or prepare presentations.
Organization is key too. I also look at my calendar to see what I need to do next. And that nice tip. I like to keep my desk clean and organized. It helps me think clearly.
See, you're not just listing actions, but adding context, feelings, reasons. That makes the language richer. And breaks are vital in the afternoon, too.
Right. I usually take a short break around 3.0. What might you do?
Maybe make a cup of tea or drink some water, or sometimes eat a small snack like fruit or a biscuit.
Getting away from the screen. If I have time, I go for a short walk to get fresh air. Even 10 minutes outside helps me feel better.
Yeah, maybe walking around the block or sit in the sun if the weather is nice. Simple pleasures, simple English. And again, here's where the source cleverly integrates English study.
Ah, yes. When I have free time in the afternoon, I study English, using those breaks proactively.
Exactly. How? Well, sometimes I listen to a podcast while I take a walk,
Like this one. Perfect.
hopefully. Or other times I read a short article or a story online. Quick reading practice.
For listening, I also watch slow English videos to help with listening.
And for speaking, I repeat short phrases out loud to practice speaking. The source mentions shadowing here. Shadowing helps me speak more fluently and clearly.
That's imitating a native speaker's pronunciation and rhythm, right?
Exactly. A great technique you can do anywhere. It's about making learning active and fitting it into your existing schedule.
Okay, and then wrapping up the afternoon's work or study.
Good point. Planning for tomorrow. Before I finish work, I write down what I did. Helps you stay organized and ready for the next day.
And reinforcing learning. Sometimes I write one new word I learned today.
Or I like to review my English notebook before I stop for the day. Little rituals that cement the learning. Okay, shall I try an afternoon narrative now?
Please do. Let's hear how that sounds.
Okay, something like, after lunch, I usually go back to my desk to continue working. Sometimes I feel a little sleepy, so I make a fresh cup of tea. I check my emails and write a short to-do list for the afternoon. I often have a video meeting with my team. We discuss what we finished in the morning and what our next steps will be. These meetings are usually quite short, about 30 minutes, which keeps us focused. After the meeting, I make sure to take a short break. I walk to the kitchen and refill my water bottle, or sometimes step outside for some fresh air for about 10 minutes, especially if the weather's nice. If I have free time, I dedicate it to studying English. I usually listen to a podcast while I stretch or read a short article online. Sometimes I watch a video where the speaker talks slowly, and I pause it to repeat sentences out loud. This technique, called shadowing, helps me speak more naturally and understand nuances better. Before I stop working for the day, I write down a short summary of what I accomplished. I also make it a point to write one sentence in English to describe how I feel about the day. For example, I finished all my work today and I feel proud. Or I didn't study as much as I wanted today, but I will try again tomorrow. This helps me reflect, reinforces my English, and keeps me motivated.
That's great. I love the self-reflection part at the end, using English to process the day. Okay, now it's your turn, listeners. Pause this for a second. Try talking about your afternoon. What do you usually do after lunch? Work, class, rest, study. Keep it simple. Just 3 or 4 short sentences is fine. The goal is just to speak. Remember those starters? In the afternoon, I usually. After lunch, I like to. Sometimes I feel. I usually take a break at. After repeat ends, I give it a go.
Excellent challenge. And that brings us to the final stretch of the day, the evening and night. The source calls this a special time, a time to relax and review the day. More practice opportunities.
Absolutely. The routine continues. Arriving home. I come home at 6 in the evening.
First thing, maybe I take off my shoes and sit down for a few minutes to rest. Decompressing.
How? I sometimes watch the news or listen to music to relax. Personal choice.
Then dinner, a key evening event. I cook dinner or I order food if I feel tired. Honesty is good.
And the social part. I eat dinner at the table with my family. We talk about our day and share stories. Recounting this, even just to yourself, is practice.
Definitely. After dinner activities, maybe I clean the kitchen and wash the dishes. Chores in English.
Or perhaps, sometimes I go for a short walk after dinner.
Winding down towards bed. Before bed, I read a book or listen to calming music.
Final routine steps. I take a shower and brush my teeth.
At the end of the day's narrative, I go to bed around 10:30 or 11.
And there you have it, a full day described using simple, everyday English, from waking up to going to sleep.
And the core message, the really profound takeaway here, is that every single part of your day provides this incredibly rich personal context for practicing English.
It's not about finding extra hours you don't have. It's about cleverly using the life you're already living as your language lab.
Exactly. The simplicity, the repetition, the personal connection, that's what makes this daily practice so effective. It transforms English from this abstract subject you study into something you actually use and live. Hashtag outro.
So, today we've covered quite a bit, haven't we? We looked at handling those awkward social moments, like forgetting names, arming you with phrases like slipped my mind, and some sneaky tricks involving business cards.
Right, focusing not just on the words, but the social strategy behind them.
Exactly. But maybe even more importantly, we dug into how just describing your own day, morning, afternoon, evening, is this incredibly powerful yet simple key to unlocking real English fluency.
Yeah, it's about moving away from just studying about English and actually starting to live in English, using your own experiences as the material.
It connects the language directly to your reality, making it more meaningful and easier to recall, I suppose.
Precisely. It builds that confidence
Sure.
organically by letting you talk about what you know best yourself. You're not performing, you're just narrating, which feels much more sustainable long term.
So, what's the big takeaway for you listening right now? Is that every single day is packed with opportunities, mini English lessons embedded in your routine, just waiting for you to notice them and articulate them.
It's not about memorizing complex grammar you might never use or obscure words from a list. It's about turning your life into your primary learning resource.
The more you consciously link English to what you actually do and experience, the less it feels like a foreign subject, and the more it becomes just part of you, part of how you think, how you process your day.
It shifts from something you learn to something you use naturally.
So keep building that confidence. Keep practicing talking about your day, even if it's just a few sentences. And remember this, one real sentence at a time, based on your real life. You're not just learning English, you're unleashing it. You're making it truly yours.